Right, welcome back to the Two Yorkshire for a Saint podcast, powered by Lee's, Acorn Joinery Lee's. I'll get that right one day, I'll get that right. I just want to start by wishing my mum a happy birthday. Carl, do you want to go to your news round?
Yeah, will do, mate. Yeah, happy birthday to Gaz's mum first and foremost, like he's just said. We'll send her some gifts. I'm sure you will, Gaz. So happy birthday
All
to
right.
her. As I say every week, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you're listening from. There's a little bit to get through, not too much, but there's a few that'll divide opinions. We'll start off with the first piece of news. Jordan's noisy neighbours, the Bradford Bulls, they have snapped up another one of the Salford Red Devils players in terms of Esam Masters. He's penned a 3-year deal at Odsal from 26 onwards. I mean, I was looking at this sort of this morning on my break at work, and we're all sort of saying a few weeks back that the likes of York and Toulouse and Bradford and all the promoted teams, there might be a few sort of blowout scores, but the way where some of these newly promoted teams are recruiting, I might be eating humble pie at this rate, guys. I mean, it is another astute signing, that Bradford have made.
Yeah, it's a player that we was rumored to be linked with as well at one point. Yeah, good signing for him. Good utility player. Um, he'll definitely make an impact in the team. That definitely like.
In terms of that signing, Jordan, and I touched on it a second ago with these newly promoted teams, do you think Bradford will be one of the stronger of the sort of three teams the way they're recruiting lately?
Um, yeah, potentially, yeah. They've got obviously the I will want last week when you were talking about Miller. They signed obviously Miller, didn't they, as well, which I think is a good signing also. Yeah, I thought Masters. I thought they really were going to sign Masters for Saints. I bet it's a bit gutted that he missed out there, but um, they've got the right players, haven't they, in key positions. So I don't know what they'll be like if they have a bit of an injury problem, like most of us go through it in a season. But, 1 to 13, yeah, they're looking all right. I still do believe York will have a better season than Bradford, but um, I do think they'll be, I don't know, maybe in 10th spot, maybe around that sort of area. But, it's like out in it. Yeah, the thing that's I find exciting with these, obviously, with us having 14 teams, all these obviously like Bradford, York, Toulouse are all going to want to start well, aren't they? So uh, you might get a few shocks early rounds. I won't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, out of those three teams we've just discussed, Gaz, would you say Toulouse finished bottom of them three, or is it
Yeah,
between York and Toulouse or Bradford and York? I mean, how would you see them three teams going?
Toulouse concern me a little bit. They've not made much movement in the markets, have they? If they have, they've done it very quietly. Um, yeah, the way Bradford and York have recruited, I see them not even being 12th or 13th. I think they can be a bit higher, to be honest.
Mm.
I mean, I think, unfortunately for
Oh,
Casper, they might drop down into that bottom two.
Bradford.
it's all this buts and maybe at this point, isn't it? But Bradford are strengthening, York are strengthening, Castleford and Huddersfield are probably stuttering a little bit. So there's an argument to suggest that there's four or five teams that could be rolling around the bottom of the league. Would
I
there be
think,
your four or five teams?
yeah, I think Huddersfield are in better danger. They've not recruited well either, have they? Or recruited enough. Um, they need a good season next year. I think Huddersfield will be in there, yeah, around that bottom sort of pile. It might be one of those things you see where because you likes of like Catalans, Huddersfield, uh, Castleford, there might be the thing of because these new teams have come in, they might survive and just kind of make it a little bit because yeah, I'm going to say this week anyway that obviously with us having three new teams in, as much as the championship, uh, you know, conditions and all that stuff, they are kind of the same as Super League. They all try out and training, etc. But I think the fitness and fatigue is a lot higher in Super League, and it might take these other teams a little bit of time to kind of get up the pace. So, it might be a thing where, say, York might take Huddersfield all the way in a game, etc., and Huddersfield might just have that fitness that'll take them over the line. So, I don't think they have to worry about too much. I think, like I was just saying, then I think like Toulouse, York, Bradford, I think they need to start well and shock some teams, because I think if they don't, I think they'll get beat back most weeks by all these other teams. So it's an hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, they need to start with a bit of wind in the sails, don't they? Hopefully that can sort of carry on for a good half of the season. I mean, while we're touching on ex-Salford players, Gaz, I was reading an article this morning that Nene McDonald's rumoured with yourself. Is he?
Yeah.
Obviously, we know his history with him and roles. Is he? Would he be welcome with open arms at the Saints?
It's not definitely not my first choice. While and that sort of settled down, but I believe a couple of NRL clubs have come sniffing around him, so understandably, he's going to want to stay over there. McDonald, don't mind him. He'll be a backup centre. So again, a player that Rowling knows very well, so he knows what he's going to get out of him.
He's a decent backup, mate. If it does happen, obviously it's all yet to be determined. But I'm sure he'll do a job wherever he ends up. Like was saying a second ago, it's only rumours at the minute, nothing confirmed.
When I was at the evening with Rowling McManus, a question was asked: what happens at centre if everyone's injured? And Rowling said number 25, which is still vacant. So I think that's what they're looking for now.
Is Hastings not got number 25?
They're not named number 25 yet.
I don't know.
We thought it was going to be Averillo, but that's died down.
It's funny you should say that. I mean, Rovers they announced their squad numbers this evening, and number 19 free.
You got one missing.
Random numbers. Yeah, I mean, a few teams do it, don't they? So it clearly tells you that business isn't finished for the coming season. Moving on swiftly then, fellas. Former Hull FC and Bradford Bulls hard man, Franklin Pele. He obviously was at the Bradford Bulls last year for a while and then went to play a stint in Rugby Union. He's confirmed he's got a bit of a lifeline. He's gone back to the NRL and managed to sign a contract with the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I mean, I remember when he first came over to Hull FC and he looked like he was going to be the absolute business.
Did he get sent off in his first game?
Ball. Yeah, and then he got sent off. Yeah, he got sent off in a derby. He got sent off a couple of times, and it just sort of went downhill from there. But there's certainly potential there. Like I say, Hull FC sent him to Bradford. Part-time, I don't know if Bradford was part-time at that point, but that environment didn't really suit him. And then he went on to Rugby Union for sort of the majority of the season. That's just passed us by. And then obviously he's been given a lifeline because it got to the point where he was looking a bit of a liability for whatever team he played for. And when we see players like him, there's definitely potential within there. It's just him bottling it up and trying to, be professional and get the professionalism out of him rather than just I'm an hard man and I'm going to knock as many bodies off as I can possible. So, like I say, he's signed for the South Sydney Rabbitohs for next year. So, wish him well. Another bit of news: Castleford Tigers. They've confirmed Tex Hoy. He's been released from his final year of his contract. The actual quote from Castleford was that he's been given opportunities elsewhere. So that to me says he's going back home to play NRL. He's a Newcastle Knights junior, Gaz, I believe.
Yeah, he was. I'm surprised that he only went to Castleford, to be honest. I thought it'd have been a bigger club, like they'd gone to like a Catland or something like that. Was sort of club I think he'd suit more. Just have to wait and see what gets announced from himself and whatever club he goes to.
Yeah, well, not forgetting that when he came over here, I think he signed for Hull FC first.
Yeah,
and there was going through a bit of a patchy period where whoever played sort of couldn't get nothing going, and there was a running joke around Hull in terms of his nickname. We used to call him Turnstile Tex because he couldn't defend. Now maybe that was just a bit of banter between the Hull teams, but his defense wasn't great. But in the time that he was at Castleford, he looked a lot stronger and a lot better. And I know Castleford didn't have a great season last season, but ultimately he looked like one of the better one of their players. So again, we wish him well whoever he signs for back home. He certainly offered something when he played for Castleford or Hull. He's just not quite nailing down a position, and then he got sort of injured a couple of times, and it just sort of didn't work out long term for him. But obviously, he's going back home and he's going to try and make it work, fellas. Next piece of news. Well, it's not news; it's more of a statement from your favourite club owner, Derek Beaumont. He's come out and sort of backed Shaun Wane, saying that he needs a bit of time with the England setup.
And that's why.
What's your opinions on that?
That is why Derek Beaumont should not get involved in the rugby side and just look after the business side of it, because he's brain dead, if that's what he's thinking.
Yeah,
and, you know me, I say it. I speak in mind. I say it how it is. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, it's
a
funny one, really,
job.
Isn't it?
Yeah, he's done a cracking job with the marketing of the club and all that, but he has a little brain fart every now and then. This is another one of them.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Jordan's face on camera here, I'm going to ask your opinion, Jordan, because there's a few rumours swirling around. I was reading something the other day about the England setup, and they reckon Shaun Wane, if nothing comes out before Christmas, Shaun Wane's sort of carrying on with the England job, moving into the World Cup next year. I think we know your thoughts on that, mate. But Derek Beaumont, does he really need to get involved and make these statements?
No, he shouldn't do. Like I say, focus on his own club.
He does get involved with that a lot. He does do a lot of work for Steve Prescott Foundation, so I'll let him off with that. Just stop speaking, Derek.
It's just like I say, Wayne's had the job 5 years, and it's not just in rugby, as we all know. It's same in football. It's same in anything. If you know the players, you're not getting the best out of the players, etc., or you're not winning competitions or whatever. You know the manager does get it in neck, and you know then the questions asked about selection and etc. You know, why have you picked him, and you know you haven't got the best out of those players that you got. And unfortunately, that's just the you know, you take the job and you know that's what comes with it. He's had it 5 years. There needs to be a change. He's too stubborn, like we said. I'm annoyed because I thought he was going to be the guy that we needed. I thought he was going to be, you know, I thought he was going to bring his Wigan heyday back, and we were going to be really good. And it hasn't worked. So for me, we need to get Ian Watson in. My opinion. But yeah, I agree. If not gets said before Christmas, I would presume he's still there.
The issue that we have is there's not enough international in the season to bring someone in to try his philosophies out. Whoever comes in is going straight into a World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of sticking in my mind, that because what if they don't get any warm-up games, it's going to be one game.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe PNG.
He's probably going to. Yeah, and he's probably going to keep the job on the basis of that, rightly or wrongly, because you'll throw somebody in one game. It's like what you expected them to do, really. You know, maybe an handful of training sessions leading up to the World Cup, and then one sort of game leading into the World Cup. I mean, it's not.
You can't get. He beat France in a warm up. It's
Jordan,
stupid,
we could coach the team to beat France in a warm up. No offense, but we could.
Yeah.
And we'd pick a better squad.
I mean, what do you guys think? Because I'm going to ask this when we're on about England. I always liked the Exiles. What's your
I don't mind that. Now that would be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, I think it's a good test. Is that? It's like having an Australian team, isn't it? In Super League,
it says here we need to give him time to build the next generation of players. Well,
they're already there.
He's just passed him by, and he played every experienced man and his dog, didn't he? He could have used, a couple of the matches game to blood a few younger players. So it's just bizarre what Derek's thinking when he's making these statements. Really is.
What do you mean, like a George Flanagan, Aaron Robertson, Lewis Martin?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
it's Australia. It's not going to be easy, but get him in the squad in and around it, get the experience of being in that camp.
get, getting them into the environment,
Yeah,
and them learning what they need, what standards they need to make, and being in the process and in the structures and the way they're coaching. But he's just shot himself in the foot by not doing any of that. That's and for Derek to say that off the back of what's gone on in terms of the Ashes, it's just I don't know. He must have been drinking so many glasses of wine when he's come out with this statement because it's a load
yeah,
of
and the rest.
nonsense. Yeah, exactly, mate. So it's frustrating, and whether he keeps the job, Sean Wayne, or somebody else comes in with a miracle World Cup attempts, then obviously we'll back him, won't we? It's just amazes me how these bits of statements and news come out from certain people, and there's no substance behind what they're trying to say, basically. So
I
yeah,
mean,
it's a funny.
when you've got someone who's not, or he might have dabbled in the game, like as a kid in amateur and that, but as far as the professional game goes, I don't think he's laced up a pair of boots in a competitive game. He's a business guy, so yeah, I don't know why he's poking his daft head into it.
Excuse me, fellas. I mean, it's just frustrating because, like you said earlier, Gaz, he does some really good things within the Lee Leopards club, doesn't he? And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, one statement or one leopard skin bloody outfit or leopard skin Ferrari or whatever he's got,
Do you know what?
Lamborghini.
He's like a
It's
cult
like,
leader. He's
yeah,
got that fan
yeah,
base brainwashed into liking the kits that they put out there. I mean, that
yeah.
new one's
Well,
of that new
Yeah,
one looks like someone's had too many glasses of red wine himself and a pizza and gone bleh.
yeah. Before you start commenting on England team, sort your own.
Yeah. Sort your own kits out.
Thing is,
it's
that
like some
kit,
three-year-olds had a dot to dot in it.
that kit. There's nothing wrong with that being plain white, right? With logo, because obviously it's got a bit of black logo on it, and just doing some patterns or something like. Why do you have to go so frigging? You know what I mean? It's like
So far.
epileptic fit.
It's
Do you know what
just
it's
some.
like? No, you look at those the magic eyes, and you sort of have to your eyes have to go mad to see what the image is. That's what it looks like. Ah,
Yeah, yeah. It's a funny one. I mean,
got it.
while we're on the kit talk, shall we say? There's a few bizarre kits this year. I mean, I don't particularly like our third kit, this green and yellow thing, and then Hull FC have got this bloody all pink sort of affair. I mean, there's
You're
going to be
locked on
some
the
bonny
piss out
lookers
of
in
us
that
for our
next
green
year.
kit last year and all.
Yeah, and then
You say we look like a
it's
cocktail.
you know,
That's what you get. Both
yeah. I
sides of all.
suppose you've got to stand out amongst the crowd, haven't you? But there's
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Stand
I'm
out
all.
in the crowd when it's your lot, but when it's us, we look stupid.
It don't matter to me, mate, because I don't buy the jerseys. I buy polos. So it's
Oh,
you could wear whatever you wanted because I'd never buy one anyway. So that's just me. We're all different, aren't we? But yeah,
no, you
there's
just put
some
them on
there's
the
some
wall.
crazy jerseys, mate. Say again.
You just put them on the wall.
Yeah, that's just a gift, mate. That was gifted to me, so I can't throw that away, can I?
Oh no.
Anyway, moving on, fellas. Moving on. Bit of Salford Red Devils news. They've been given until 17th of December. There's allegedly three people in the reckoning who want to take it over. I mean, we know what's gone on with Salford this year and what's happened last week in terms of HMRC, all that type of stuff. I mean, what's that? A couple of weeks' time before they've got to sort it out. So
Yeah.
somebody to come and take it over.
Merry bloody Christmas, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's.
I
I don't know,
believe
Jordan.
though. I believe a couple of them want Adrian Morley to be involved, obviously with him being a Salford lad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a is it Mason Caton Brown as well? Apparently, I've read some of that he was looking at something along them lines when he obviously
Yeah.
former Salford player. So there's two or three in the reckoning who want to get involved and try and re-establish the club. I mean, it's just a race against the clock now, Jordan. Is it? But we want to see Salford, don't we? We want to see them rebuild over the next couple of seasons and hopefully get back to the summit of rugby league in this country.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel sick for Solly Redwoody in 1870. Is it 1873?
from what I've seen from Salford fans, a lot of them are more relieved just to see them that circus out the club.
I think, yeah. Well, I think they knew, didn't they? I think it's more just the fact of like, they've got their answers now. It's they've waited so long for it, and they've had to do so many matches, haven't they? And numerous meetings and stuff to find out what's going on, and they're still didn't know, did they? Like say going into it, and players not getting paid. And for me personally, and I could be wrong for saying this, but I feel like give them a year out. Give them a year out to
Give them
get
time to build.
Yeah, get the finances sorted. Don't just do this quick. Right,
Yeah.
Someone's wanting to buy them. That's fine. That's great. But just don't eject them straight into Championship and go right. Yeah, we're playing because they're not going to have a lot of money. They're not going to have quality players in the team. So for me, buy the club like you want to do, or like people are going to do. Give them a year out. Get your finances sorted. Start recruiting in the back play, like London were doing, and then have a good crack at Championship then, and have a couple of years in there to try and build up, and then hopefully they'll be contenders for a return in Super League. But they've fallen so hard, and I feel sick for them because, like I said, it's not like a team that were in bottom at table every season. Like they've competed so well, and the Challenge Cup finalists, the Super League finalists. It's I mean they don't deserve where they've been, and fans don't deserve it. I mean, if that were Leeds, I'd be sick as a dog. I really would. So I'd totally sympathise with that. It's one of those things where when time goes by, people do forget and just kind of leave them, because they've been liquidated. Right, we're not going to make a Salford team. We might make one in a couple of years or whatever.
Yeah.
I just hope that they keep going and that they're actually going to make a team again. Otherwise, like you say, time will go on and no, it will get done, and that'll be it. They'll sell stadium. They'll do everything then, won't they?
I'm hearing rumours that they're about swapping with Salford City in regards to the stadium,
Obviously.
which would make
I think that'd be more
sense. It would
suited.
make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of them,
The
just
thing
have to
is,
say, I mean,
the thing is as well, fellas. We had Chris Wellham on last week, who's played over 100 games for Salford, and he couldn't speak highly enough of the club, could he?
Yeah.
Like you say, Jordan, grand finalists. There was always the underdog story, wasn't there? On and off the pitch, and it's just a shame to see what it's come to. My only concern with this is, I know Gaz is right in what he's saying, that Salford fans was relieved when that news came out the other day, but they've been given zero time now. 2 weeks to find new owners?
Yeah.
They're running hard into nothing, can't they, Gaz?
Yeah, it's almost like they're being set up to fail, really, isn't it? It's almost like the RFL don't want them around.
So frustrating for them.
In fact, I've heard a rumor that Gary Neville's interested in buying them.
No, it won't be so bad. He didn't got a clue about rugby league, like
Roy Keane's a rugby league
advisor.
It's not always about who's in rugby, is it? It's just the sport in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what about is it Adams who were playing for Arsenal?
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams, didn't he have something to do with Super League?
I think
he got involved in
it
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, he got involved somewhere, didn't he? So
I suppose what you can bring to the table if you've got connections and finances, that's going to get you quite well on in rugby league or any sport, isn't it? It's whatever happens with Salford, I'm sure they'll come back. It won't be a case of if, it'll be a case of when, whether they get somebody with Bob before the 17th of December or not. We'll see them again at some point. I'm pretty sure of that. So we wish them all the best with that from everybody at the podcast, and obviously the rest of the fans within Super League. We touched on it last week, Gaz. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kevin Sinfield. I mean, he's obviously done his 7-7 again, raising 1.2 million. There ain't enough words I can say, you can say, or Jordan can say that this man deserves. I mean, What an
Deserves
absolute
everything, doesn't
guy.
he? Deserves the world.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a mention tonight because obviously Jordan was under the weather last week when we touched on it last week. So, I mean, Jordan, we know what you'll think of Kevin Sinfield from his playing days, but can you describe the man in a couple of sentences?
I think do you know what it is, right? It's like we can be biased about his teams and biased about his players that we've had, etc., or players we've got. For me, the warm feeling I get from Sinfield is the fact that everybody else has got to see it.
Yeah.
Like we all know you both, will admit he's being a quality player, and but these people out there that'll go, oh no, he would average whatever. People, won't be truthful with it. But when you see what he's done for Rhinos and the trophies he's won and captained and everything, and then he does this outside of sport, and going into Union as well, and doing stuff for Union, having his team from Rugby Union helping him. It's ridiculous. It really is. I can't even put it into words like how special the guy is. I mean, I think everyone would love a mate like Sinfield. Like he's done so well for Rob, and obviously everybody else who MND and I know, like I say, a lot of people going through it now. It's just that alertness is poor Rob were diagnosed in 2019, and as we all know, um, it were such a bad time because it was COVID, and nobody really give a rat's ass about MND because everyone wanted this cure for COVID, that were killing all elderly people, etc. So Rob just kind of got left in dark there a bit, and when you're trying to promote something that nobody knows anything about, and he's just deteriorating over those months, and that's what killed me. I've seen him in interviews, seen him doing BBC and these special episodes, and you see him gradually deteriorating over time, and he gets to a point where you're like, he ain't got long, and it broke my heart to see. But then when you've got a friend like Sinfield who just picks himself up, just does that. It's just not just once, 7 times, but then he's done it again on his other ones as well, and it's just I'm to be fair, I'm just more buzzing the fact that like people put their hands in the pockets because it could have flopped a little bit there where people weren't going to be as generous, considering people are a bit not ignorant, but when we don't know much about something, you're not going to be as interested, are you? So M&D's, it's stuck out like a sore thumb now with what he's done. So it's a credit to everyone who's got M&D. He's a credit to families, people who have struggling with it. He's a credit to Rob's family. He's a credit to everybody. And the guy needs a statue. He really does.
Yeah. And speaking of MND, over the Christmas period, we are attempting to raise some money ourselves for MND Association. T-shirts, hoodies, whatever else we got. All proceeds are going to the M&D Association, so please consider it.
Yeah, well said, Gaz. Well said, Gaz. Friend of mine, Craig Esker, he listens quite often. We're here to help him as well as the rest of the M&D community. We want to try and get Craig to Vegas, so that's partly my wish and my aim. So keep fighting, Craig. Keep fighting the rest of the M&D community. We're all behind you, and we're all doing this little bit to try and help everybody amongst the way. So moving on, Gaz. I believe you had a busy day yesterday at a charity event. Do you want to talk us through that, mate, and give any shout outs that you think's necessary?
Yeah, very similar thing. Like obviously with the Steve Prescott Foundation, which is the initial idea, but Steve got given 6 months to live, and he spent the next 7 years running marathons, raising money, and all that. It was partnered with Mickey Heim Fund. So obviously we know Mickey Heim was diagnosed with stage 4 myeloma, something like that, I think it was. They've done basically a Mickey Heim team against the Steve Prescott team. Mostly Saints and Warrington Legends, a few Lee ones thrown as well. Went off really well to some really, really big name players turned out. You know, the Warrington side, there was Stefan Ratchford, Chris Hill, Benny Westwood, Kevin Penny turned up for a game. Gaz Langley for the Lee side, Martin Ridyard. And we had James Roby, Chris Joint. You know, there's a bunch of ex-Saints that's turned up, which is where. So with the other podcast, we were a sponsor for the game, and I received this, which I'm very, very grateful for. So thank you to Martin Blondell for sorting me out with that. Yeah, it's something that obviously we know how much the MND one means to Leeds fans, like mainly because of Rob. That's the St Helens one. Steve Prescott Foundation, obviously Mickey Ham as well, next player of ours.
Yeah.
And it just goes, the turnout was unbelievable. So I'm going to try and spend the next 12 months, raise as much as we can for Steve Prescott Foundation. I'm going to dust the old boots off and get involved in the game next year. And I'm sure Ben from In That Number does that with me as well. He's interested in doing it as well.
Yeah, well,
Awesome.
you know, we're a new podcast, but Gaz has just broke a breaking story there. Gaz getting his boots out for charity.
Yeah.
What an absolute legend, mate. I love
Reckon
that.
you-
I love these type of stories. I mean,
My
fair play to you, mate, 'cause-
boots are clean as anything because they're only a year old and I'm playing football with them on natural turf, so there's no dirt on them yet.
it's when you come back,
Oh.
when you come back after next year's game and you're full of what you call it, carpet burns and gouges from plastic pitch and all that type of stuff.
No, it's all right. It's Masters reels. I'll be all right.
Hey, don't mean you want to fall over. You try putting a left
Oh,
foot
yeah.
step on somebody
I'm
and you,
bound
and
to,
you go
Anna.
over.
Something's bound to happen.
Yeah, jokes aside, mate. Fair play to you and the other lad who we do podcast with. It's an absolute credit for you. I think we're not far from wrapping up for the year, Gaz. You know, I think we're just about there, mate, aren't we? It's been a brilliant first sort of year for the podcast.
Yeah, we've not done too bad for the first day. Was it like 3 months we've been running for now?
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, we've got a few people I'd like to thank in terms of listeners, and we appreciate all the likes and the shares and all that type of stuff. We've got some stuff in the pipeline, guys, haven't we, for after Christmas in terms of player interview and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Obviously, I don't need to mention names, but we've got bits in pipeline, haven't we?
Yeah, I had a chat with a couple of players yesterday, and I think one of them may be definite. I'm not sure. Depends if it lines up. Another one might be a bit more difficult, but we've got that, and we've got another one. So I think we've got potentially 3 lined up there for next year. We've got one coming up this week, haven't we?
Yeah, he's supposed to be coming back to me, so I haven't announced anything yet for them reasons of all of these players that we're talking to at the minute for interviews are obviously current Super League players, all recently retired, so they've got busy schedules, as you know. So as and when we get some confirmation on certain players, we'll post on our socials ready for 26 and after Christmas, won't we?
All right, well, that's a wrap for the year then.
Let me just say one thing before we go.
No,
As CEO,
no, here we go.
I just want to come on and say to all the listeners, when I started TikTok, beginning of the year, I always had this goal in mind to do this sort of show. I mean, I've got my own Mighty Rhinos podcast, as obviously you know, and Gaz has got his In the Number podcast, and
Don't forget Rugby League Worldwide.
Rugby League Worldwide, yeah.
Even you're out there, Carl. What's that about?
All things rugby league.
Full time employed by Two Yorkshire for a Saint now. There's no time for other socials.
Yeah, so I started obviously doing mine. I always had this goal in mind, and I went up and beyond, and looked across. I'm almost like a Simon Cowell, if you want to say, and I brought these 2 guys into this idea that I had, and I'm so buzzing, like how well we've done. So I just want to thank Carl and Gaz on my behalf of how we've gone so far this year. I know we haven't done the full season, as considering we've only done 3 months. I'm really pleased with everything. So credit to you both. You know, I could have picked two better lads, if I'm being honest. So thanks very much, lads.
You got to have a whip round for us at Christmas. I've enjoyed it. Really, I've enjoyed it.
Before we wrap up, guys, joking aside, Jordan, this CEO title, is that an official? I'm going to use that every podcast then.
Not just a joke and then what else in it. Bit of crap.
Well, I mean the CEO name that Jordan's got, it does not stand for Chief Executive Officer. Let's put it that way.
We couldn't possibly say what it stands for.
We don't know yet, but we'll suss it out. We don't know yet.
Founder.
That's it. That's pretty much it then, Gaz. I think we've got one last thing to say, haven't we, mate, before we sort of wrap up?
Yeah, to say once again, massive thank you to our sponsor, Acorn Joinery Leeds. They've really looked after us since they come on board. Thank you to everyone for listening. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Appreciate all of it. And remember, the podcast is for the fans, by the fans. So we'll be back in 2026.
Yes,
all the
guys.
best, lads. Have a good Christmas, guys.
Yeah, Christmas, New Year, and be safe. And I hope Santa comes and looks after everyone.